Hello and welcome to another episode of News2Gamers Xtra. This is a spin-off show where we talk about all the topical news in the gaming world and we discuss, rant and potentially we fight, don't we?
Sometimes.
Yeah, we like that. Joined obviously, of course, by my amazing co-host Neil Murdoch. Welcome.
Amazing. Where did that come from?
You're never going to get that again, so put that in your little box of compliments from Simon.
It's in. It's in. Don't worry.
That'll be it for the rest of your life.
I like it.
And of course, we all know Luke Adams, who joined us from season 1, didn't you? We had a little Nintendo special, and you're back on the spin-off show now, so a bit different. Yeah. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Didn't give you an amazing.
I didn't give him an. Is that why you really disappointed in me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're not amazing. Right, do you like it?
Let's get on with the show before I get more abuse. Right, so we're doing a retro section today, guys.
Yep.
Talking about the amazing games that we had back in our growing up times period.
When we were younger.
Yesteryear.
We first become
bygone
gamers.
days.
Bygone days.
When we were wee lad.
Big games that sort of inspired us to play more games and probably inspired half of the titles that are out there today, to be honest. I want to start with a big one, mainly because this was my favourite console that's ever been released, the N64, GoldenEye.
If you're going to do retro, you've got to start there, haven't you? Because it was just... it's just incredible. I remember doing that. I remember when I found out I could shoot him from the...
in the rooftop.
From the rooftop thing.
Absolutely incredible. And I always used to play as Odd Job as well because he was small, so you can get around anywhere.
I just remember when you were like the paintball mode as well, and you could spray paint.
Big head mode. Do you remember big head mode? That was brilliant. Golden gun mode as well.
Yeah,
the brilliant big-headed textures of the dodginess.
But you know what? I totally lost my childhood with this. And 4 or 5 mates used to go around and we used to take it in turns. I was always the one who had the rubbish
first
controllers.
Games, wasn't
Competition
it?
Pro.
Well, you all used to sit with your different coloured N64 pads, and it's like,
stop looking at the screen. Stop looking at the screen.
Literally.
And did you ever used to look at the walls and no one knew where you were?
Yeah.
I was all over that. I was like, hey, you can't see where I am.
But it was one of the first games, wasn't it, that brought a multiplayer split screen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That really sort of solidified it, I guess. Polished it, didn't it? From what had happened beforehand. I think that's why GoldenEye was so successful.
You were saying it earlier, weren't you, that it's one of the few games that transitions from a good film to a really good game.
Yeah,
it doesn't
you don't
happen
happen anymore. And again, going back to the old days of games and films, I mean, there was stuff like Lion King, like back then, which was solid, rock hard. Oh my god, it was impossible to play. And again, you go back to that, and that's when game adaptations were really good. They were really well made, and GoldenEye was prime example because for me it's still the best Bond film.
Have you ever met anyone that didn't like GoldenEye?
I don't think I have.
No, exactly.
The only people that don't like GoldenEye are people that never played it, i.e.
And we don't talk to them, do we?
The youth of today.
That's the word, isn't it? The youth.
What's GoldenEye? Well, I think about like the one that we re-released on the Wii.
No.
N64. We're talking N64. What's an N64? Stuff like that.
The one that used to break your thumbs to use the pad.
We did it. We actually took, at my bass player, took an N64 because he's got an old one and a GoldenEye on tour. And literally the manager was like, you need to go to this gig. I'm like, just hang on a minute. It's just like we're on this tiny TV in this hotel going, hang on, we're just playing this one. He was like, he goes, come on, we're going. It was like, that's how much it stayed with me.
You can't beat the experience.
And that's N64, isn't it? It had so many memories for me. And we're going to talk about a few more games on N64 a bit later on. But Neil, you've got a few games you want to cover in the retro section we've got going on today.
There's loads. I mean, I go back to, I know I look quite young, but Amiga days. Amiga 500, Amiga 500, Commodore. So, I mean, the very first game I ever remember playing was on, was it Atari or Spectrum? It took half an hour to load from the tape, and it was Glug Glug. I mean, that's how old I am. It was like, and it was like half an hour to start, and then, I mean, you got Sensible Soccer, which was the greatest. I mean, it's still
Sensible. I mean, they're talking. There was Kick-Off as well, wasn't there? Back then as well, and they're remaking Kick-Off. You said, didn't you, Luke?
Yeah.
And again, Sensible Soccer was so much fun. It wasn't the FIFAs and the pros like Sensible Soccer.
No, look, Camera
Camera
top down. I used to change all the names so they were the proper Villa players at the time, you know. And
you should never admit that,
I know,
especially on a TV show.
That'd take a good few hours just to set
I used to sit there and type them all in, edit the team, put myself in there as well, and right wing, obviously. But it was just genius. That, I mean, you look at Star Fox as well. That was one. I mean, even the NES, I still remember sitting in my mate's house and he goes, I've got this new computer. And I was like, yeah, I was, well, whatever. Sat down, played Duck Hunt and Mario on the NES. Mind blown. It was like, what do you mean you got to shoot a gun? You got to shoot a gun at a TV? What's that about?
You have to get right up to the telly sometimes.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't work from that position. So you'd just be like...
You tried being the sniper and then you're like, this ain't working. Yeah.
No, brilliant. And Luke, as well, any games you want to bring to the fold on Retro?
Well,
obviously you've supplied all of this, haven't you, today?
Class.
I'm a big fan of the old SNES RPGs up into Final Fantasy. That was one of my favourite RPGs ever. But then I was fortunate enough to have the ability to play SNES and Mega Drive. Obviously, some kids... He was one or the other, but my brother had the Mega Drive, I had the
likes
SNES.
of Sonic and Knuckles you like to enjoy, you know. And again, that for me, you know, Sonic was great. It was always good, but you know, I mean, these are the days, weren't they? But Sonic and Knuckles like really changed things up, didn't it?
Anyone watching this who's never played this or not of our age range is going to be looking at this going, what are they talking about?
I don't know.
It's when you play though, it's the rush you get, isn't it, I think?
They'll probably look at games like the Sonic games on the iPhone and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're totally different.
It's nothing on this. It's like
no, definitely
just
not.
how it looks and how it plays.
What some people won't remember as well is Sonic and Knuckles, actually, this was what DLC was all about. Back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? That's where Sonic 3 would go.
You could put Sonic 3 in, you could put Sonic 2 in and play as Knuckles, and you could put any other Mega Drive game in.
Could we just put that in there just to show what DLC was?
You could put any other Mega Drive game into it, and it
hold it to this camera here,
and it unlocks loads of different levels, like the special stage.
Yeah.
So any Mega Drive game would generate a random level.
Wow.
But
that's mad, isn't it?
Isn't it? See,
that's your DLC of the day.
That's the DLC of the day.
This is when games were games.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking earlier when we were looking at, you know, when you went to the shop and stuff like that, and you bought a game. Look at that. Is that not a thing of beauty?
This is what I was saying earlier in the office.
Let's not forget a booklet.
The instruction booklets. You know, you used to get your game, get on the bus, or you know, get in the car, and you would read it on the way home.
It's ace.
You know,
that is a game, and now straight online. I don't do that. Yeah, I miss this.
These were proper boxes, weren't they? Proper game cases. These were none of the plastic crap you get today. These were proper ones.
But you look at the prices as well, because you and I were talking about the price, weren't we?
Well, I've got a Mega Drive game at home. I can't remember which one it is, but it's got a £59.99 price sticker on.
59 quid.
N64 games were 70 quid when the first came out.
We used to be happy to pay for that.
Oh,
because the games were games, you know.
It wasn't so much as the graphics, because we didn't know obviously where the graphics were going to go. It was just, I mean, not everyone had them either. This was the other thing as well. Not everyone I speak to these days, they've got the Xbox, they've got the PS4, so they've got that. You used to go around to someone's house who got it. You befriended that person who had that game console.
No, you did. And one game in particular that I used to do that with, actually, I'm going to go a bit off topic a little, but 1080 snowboarding.
Yeah.
On the N64. Yeah. One of my favourite games. You know, and we were speaking last week on the show about we haven't really had a extreme sports. Wow. I mean, this back then, graphics.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's actually not that bad when you look at it.
The thing is, just look, the style trails your board makes, something as simple as that. You know.
But this, you know.
It's not quite with the board, but we can allow that
to But the wind is moving his coat slightly there. Either that or it's just
it's the graphics,
but, you know, we were talking, there's been no extreme games out for current gen at the moment, apart from...
None we'd like to talk about.
Yeah. You know, the one that didn't happen, it didn't happen. You know, obviously didn't get made, well, at least properly anyway. So, you know, I'd love to see a new snowboarding game, but these were snowboarding games that really made you feel like you were playing a game. You felt everything you were doing.
It's just going back to the point about how much cartridges and stuff were. It was the fact that there was less games around as well. And when you got a new game,
that's it.
It was a quality new game.
Yeah.
Okay, there were bad games. That's something that happened. but there were less bad games,
Yeah.
and there was a bigger gap between game releases.
Because of the quality.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, nowadays you're going to get a new release nearly every other week.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was a few months.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't mind paying the extra because you'd waited longer and you'd saved up a bit more.
But because not everyone had these games and stuff, like I remember for Christmas. So I remember one Christmas I got a Super Nintendo as well. So you know
That's a good Christmas.
that was and I had the was it Super Nintendo Scope? I had that as well. So I had Mario and that, and literally I could still feel the excitement when I opened it on that day because I bugged Mum and Dad for it because they were really expensive for households and families then. Yeah. So you couldn't have okay, I'm done with Mario now. You had to complete the whole of Mario.
Yeah,
you had to play the games because nothing was coming out for 4 months.
It was just a family experience as well. You'd get it for Christmas, and you'd only have one telly in your house. And your mum would go, oh yeah, put it on the big telly.
Yeah. Oh, put it on the big telly. Put it on the big telly.
And you put it on the big telly. You'd all sit around you. Mum, you want to have a go? Oh, it looks a bit too hard for me, stuff like that.
And these weren't the flat TVs, were they?
No,
these were the monsters.
Big back. Sometimes you have to put 50p in.
Right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're talking the likes of Time Crisis, Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie,
Mario Kart,
so many.
All of them. Yeah.
So stay with us as after the break we'll be right back talking about all these exciting games. Keep it locked. Welcome back to News2Gamers. We're talking retro on the Extra show today, and guys, we've had some amazing nostalgia kicks so far, haven't we?
Yeah, it's taking me right back, right back.
Loving it, but we're going to talk now. We're going to go back to the N64 because it's one of my favourite consoles ever. Star Fox was an epic game on that. You used to get a massive rumble pack with it that weighed your controller down. But it's been remade, hasn't it?
Well, it's more of a sequel than a remake, but on the same subject, there's loads of games that are getting a new lease of life.
Yeah.
I mean, they just released on the PlayStation Network last week, Shadow of the Beast.
Oh my word!
That was Amiga. Amiga, wasn't it?
Look, you're in my territory now. Look at it.
Look at
it.
Look,
it can't even. Look, everyone's going to think that's a glitch in the TV. No, that's you just stopping.
That's just how he does.
Yeah, you couldn't move and attack at the same time.
And if you see the visuals of a new one, they've actually tried to get the visuals identical. The guy who composed the music, he's even back in and he's doing the music again. Right. It just shows that there's an element of nostalgia and people just want to see this stuff again. And they just want to see it up to date, they just want to see it new, and they want to see it done properly. And Shadow of the Beast is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you had games like Altered Beast.
Whoa, what do you mean about unfortunately?
No, remade on the PS2.
Yeah.
You and I nearly fell out badly there.
Altered Beast was excellent. The remake and Golden Axe, that was another one.
Golden Axe, yeah.
They remade that and they made it terrible. And it's just, if you get the right passion behind something, it comes out and they make it better again.
Yeah.
And they make it.
I'll tell you what.
Bring us some nostalgia back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm going sort of a bit later on in the whole retro generation, but one game I'd love to see come back, Broken Sword.
Oh, yes.
You mentioned Golden Axe and Broken Sword was about the same era, roughly. I
mean, they've still got like the point and click genre, let's call it.
Yeah.
They still try and give us that, but they only seem to show on the PC. I mean, if you go onto Steam and type in point and click adventure, there's that many games that other companies have tried to bring back.
Yeah.
And we talk about those. I mean, you remember Unreal?
Unreal
Tournament, obviously around the Quake days, and the new Doom game has sort of, pretty much every review that I've seen and read has gone back to saying, it's got essence of Unreal and Quake Arena in there, and I mean, for me, this was my child. I spent so many hours on this game.
The thing is, you see the kind of development as well between previous games and the Sonics and the Altered Beasts. Okay, that's years and years before, but then you look at this. I remember when this stuff came out, and it did, again, blow my mind. Because you're like, it was such a leap forward, wasn't it?
Like the original Doom, it's like the first time you saw a 3D maze environment, and it just gets better and better. But what we need to understand as gamers, and what the game developers need to get into, is we want games like that. We don't want cinematic experience. Okay, it's nice to have it.
I mean, the likes of Uncharted.
But like the good thing about games like that is they've got the gameplay as well as the storyline.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't forget one or the other.
Yeah,
you need to have both in
But I do think
tandem.
Doom got that balance right between gameplay and less cinematics.
Yes.
You know, they kind of took away all the cinematics and gone, no, you're just going to have full on action.
Yeah, you're in, basically. There's a little bit,
you know,
about everything known to man.
Yeah.
And not known to man.
You know, and obviously when games like Unreal and Quake come out, and you were having guns like plasma cannons and, you know, the lightning cannons and stuff like that.
It stepped up.
It's BFG.
The BFG.
We all know what that stands for.
Yeah.
It just stepped up, didn't it?
Yeah.
I remember on Doom when we were playing that, and that was the first game I played where my mate basically had his computer in the other room, and we did proper split screen against him, so we couldn't see what was going on. But we, you know, when you found
mean LAN?
Yeah, when we found God mode and all that kind of stuff. Do you remember that?
God mode,
yeah.
The character's eyes glaze over.
The guy used to come on God mode.
Yeah, it was like the X Factor, wasn't it? Now God mode. It's like,
oh my God, so much fun. Yeah.
When you picked up the quad damage as well, that was it.
Yeah, it's just like, and
you used to stew people and used to explode.
You don't get that anymore,
No.
you know. And again,
obviously we do in the new Doom, but
you know, they've gone back to whole shards and stuff.
Do you know what I'd love? I'd love to go back in time, bring me here to this time, and go right. This is the new Doom player, and see what me as a child would make of Doom compared to where it is now.
Yeah, because our opinions have probably got jaded or slightly skewed by modern gaming. Would you say?
Spoiled, maybe.
Spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have been with the likes of Uncharted, and you look at the cinematics in that. You know, with the likes of obviously the new Doom, you look at the Far Cry's and stuff like that. We've been spoilt with new open worlds, big adventures, big stories. You know, lots of weapons and craft and all this stuff that you didn't see back then. But back then, it was a different experience.
But it's like going back to the price of cartridges and stuff now. It's like you get like the Sega collections now. It's like 20 quid and you get like 60 Sega games on one disc.
Yeah.
And back in the day,
it's
not the same. It's not the same.
And talking of games that aren't the same, you don't see platformers like this anymore. Banjo-Kazooie. You know.
But it started a 3D genre.
Yeah.
3D platforming
it really
genre.
Did. I mean, you know, for me, this is still one of my favourite games because it was so interactive. You know, it even beat Mario 64, which we'll show in a bit, on the Metacritic scores. Yeah. You know,
it was that first sort of thing where you'd get into a game and you'd want to collect everything.
Yeah.
You'd go, oh, it's a collectathon. I want to collect that. You know, musical notes. I want to collect every single musical note in this level. Yeah. And it was the first kind of sort of time where you'd get a game where you could do that.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, it was you'd go for a level, you'd finish the level.
Yeah, well, that's it. Predetermined route.
What Mario had different about it was the fact every map kind of seemed the same. Every level, sorry, you know, it was quite similar.
Yeah, but look how good that looks.
Yeah. I know.
I was like,
I know. But in Banjo, for example, every level was different. You know, you were in a snowy cavern or, you know, like Christmas World and stuff. And,
but I mean, both Banjo and Mario, to this day, they still do 3D perfect. Yeah. There's games that are out today where you'll turn the camera around and your character will go into its face.
Yeah.
And you never had that in Mario and Banjo. And so they've revolutionised the thing that no one's got better.
No, I agree with you. And
I desperately want to play stuff now.
Yeah, I just want to get
out and play some retro
games. I mean, you know, what was good back then is developers like Rare. You know, back then they were just on it. You know, they developed so many games for the N64, more than I actually imagined until we researched this show. And going back to some of their titles, I know they've got something new in development now called Sea of Thieves, which does actually look quite good, and it looks back to their yesteryear days, you know. But, you know, the likes of, you know, obviously they did Banjo, they did Super Mario and Donkey Kong, you know. Donkey Kong was incredible, man, you know. And he brought all his friends, Lanky, Diddy, Tiny.
But I tell you what, with Donkey Kong, if we look back at Donkey Kong when the arcade game was right there, then that was kind of brought up to speed. So really, that Donkey Kong 64 wasn't the original, it was the arcade game from there, wasn't it?
That's it.
So every game's got that evolution that's going through.
And, you know, Donkey Kong still does well today, doesn't it? You know? I mean, talking about arcade games, one that you brought up in the office was Time Crisis.
Yeah, that's the one I spent all my pound coins at the when I went away with my family at the seaside. I was like,
they had the little orange gun and
oh, look at it! It's so cool. You could duck down.
Yeah,
I know this is so simple, and it sounds so ridiculous, but that being able to duck down in a game made me feel more about being in the game. And when I was like 12.
Yeah,
you know,
honestly,
and that's the difference.
You'd be in the arcade and you'd want to roll around the room.
That's
how much immersive it was. And that's when it started to be cinematic gaming. When the PlayStation 1 came along,
the
reason they picked CDs was to get that cinematic feel. Which is why games like Final Fantasy VII had the cutscenes, and in a way helped the game.
They were one of the first to bring proper cinematic.
Exactly,
You know,
I mean, that was originally scheduled for the Super Nintendo Sony hybrid that never happened.
Yeah.
But the reason he didn't go ahead is because he didn't have cutscenes, and they wanted cutscenes, and that's why
it's incredible, isn't it?
That started cinematic gaming.
You know, the nostalgia that's come out of this show. There were a lot more on this list that we had. You know,
we'd be here all day.
Yeah, we could be. But
we could be here all day.
We're running out of time.
Did you put Mario Golf down?
I did. It was awesome.
It was a good game.
It was really awesome. It was brilliant. Pokemon Stadium as well.
Oh,
you know,
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Right, well, we're out of time, guys.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, you know, we could make this an hour-long show if we wanted, and probably longer.
Let's all go back to mine and just play retro games. That's what we're going to do.
Let's do it. That's what we're going to do. Right, thanks for tuning in, guys, to News2Gamers Xtra. You can catch this episode on our YouTube channel as well later on if you have missed it. Don't forget to tune in on Wednesday at 10:30, where we'll be bringing you some brand new footage, news, and trailers. Until then, keep it locked.